the business knowledge broker.
Hey, yo, Guru, you ready?
Hey guys, this is Candace Joseph Listen, your favorite business guru, here again for an episode of the Business Knowledge Broker Hour. You already know each week I bring you the best in entrepreneurship, community activists and advocates, and definitely the nonprofit space. You know, it's my goal each and every time, not only to bring you the people within the community that's doing the work within the community, but people I think you should know. Listen, today is no exception. My guest today, listen, she is a queen of all queens, and she's here to make a few queens too. I welcome Princella the Queen Maker.
How you doing?
Thank you. Look, thank you first and foremost for being here. Thank you for sharing your gifts with all of us. You know, I sit back and I look at the journey of when I first came to know about you, and it's been about a year. And when I say I've seen, look, we've seen the streams, we have seen the growth in regards to social media followers, we've seen even the people that you capture. Okay. Not only are you here to educate, but you're here to drive a good message. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so, well, my message in terms of life for women is that women are the foundation of life, and they are the catalyst for change. And I believe that women can be more of an active change for society if they actually understood their place in society. And I don't believe that women really know who they are. And what I've come to realize is that one of women's biggest impediments is their relationships with men. And unfortunately, women have this impediment, but they don't know much about men at all, which causes them to lose their self and their place in society. So my job is to enlighten and educate women on all aspects so that they can make a logical and rational decision about who they want to be and what contribution they want to make to society.
Wow. Yeah. Listen, first of all, that's a mouthful, but it's also something that's, you know, is definitely needed, right? Because we hear terms thrown around, boss, we hear queen, right? Sometimes these things are words that are now trendy, but they have a real core to them and a real depth to them. Look, thank you for being that person, to being a catalyst of change within that. I want to tap a little bit more into the business side of Princella the Queen Maker. When you were going through your writing process, right, for this installation of your book, it's called The Game. Listen, 41 Shades of Men, okay? How did you come into that writing process? Because this is what, your third book?
Fourth book.
Fourth book.
Yes.
Ah, see, I was almost right.
Yes.
Guys, I was almost right, right? So this is your fourth book. What was that writing process like for you?
Well, when I started writing the book, I was a truck driver. So I drove trucks in the daytime, took care of my daughter after work, and I would write on this book little by little after I would get off of work. How I came about the concept, this concept came from my experience and deep knowledge of men over a course of 25 years. And when all of the information that I gathered over 25 years synthesized itself together, it was like a light bulb went off that really gave me an understanding of what's going on in the world. And because it was a light bulb for me,
wow,
I believe that it would be a light bulb for other women as well. So I was on TikTok because I also wrote another book called The 5 Components of Love, which God gave me this in 2016. It just fell out of the sky. And I wrote about it in 2018 and self-published in 2019. This concept I was explaining on TikTok with the intention of selling the book. And as I was doing that, that developed into my workshop that I have called Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded. And in that process, I was explaining to women some of the different types of men. And while I was on live, I said, you know what? I think I should write a book about this. So I took a piece of paper out while I was on live. It was about 500 people watching at the time. And I just started to jot down all the different types of men that I could think about. And at the end of that process, I came up with 41 at that time.
Wow.
And I told everybody online, I said, watch out because I'm going to write this book. And that is when I started to write it little by little. And I started this in 2022. In 2023, January 3rd, I was let go from my trucking job.
Oh, wow.
My natural habit has always been, when I go from one job, just go and get another one. But the Creator told me something different this time, that I had acquired all of the skills and knowledge necessary to forge my own path at this point.
Wow.
So I made a concrete decision at that point that I was not going to go and work for anybody else. And so I put my head down and I spent all day, 30 days, writing this book. And it was completed by the end of January.
Wow.
Yes. So,
powerful.
Yes. And so I went on to sell, since I released it, I went on to sell over 40,000 copies of this book.
Amazing.
Audio and written.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay, so you went from 9 to 5 truck driver to full-time entrepreneurship mode. You're writing once again to educate, right?
Yes.
And you went into the self-publishing route. What are some tips that you could give people that want to create their own writings, get their thoughts and their story on paper?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the tips that you would give them?
Just do it. Start writing. You don't have to be perfect. All you have to do is start the process, because when it comes to leadership, leadership is about you lead yourself first.
Uh-huh.
And part of leadership is delegation. You put it together. Now, more than any other time, you have access to other creators and entrepreneurs who have different areas of talents and focus that you can delegate tasks to. And one of the places that you can delegate these tasks to are Fiverr.com, where you have plenty of self-motivated individuals that have capitalized off of their own skills. So all you have to do is write it. Then you go find an editor. You pay an editor, right? Let your money work for you, okay? You don't have to do everything yourself. So I've always had a habit that I do everything myself, and so I've had to try to relinquish control and trust others in the process of helping me create and put forth my ideas. So I understand that I don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I do understand that we have to, everything costs. We have to pay others for their talents, right? Just like we expect to be paid for our gifts, other people expect to be paid for their gifts. But let them take the pressure off of you.
Yeah.
All you have to do is generate the ideas and let your dollars work for you. So instead of me going to work for somebody else, constantly slaving for somebody else's dream, the money that I acquired, because at this time, I had just got a brand new car.
Wow.
At the end of January, December 30th to 31st, the last day of December, I bought a car. That car note was like $765. I lose my job January 3rd.
Ooh.
Literally 3 days later.
Yeah.
So now I have a daughter that I'm taking care of. I have rent. I have all of this stuff. The natural instinct would be for me to go and get another job.
Yeah.
But instead, I wrote this book, and I trusted myself and my fortitude, and I charged things on my credit card, and I paid people to help me produce this. I paid somebody to do the graphic work. I paid somebody to edit. I paid for the production so that I could sell these books by myself, right? I trusted myself, and I got that back tenfold. So trust others to help you with your vision.
Ooh, look, she just gave y'all some nuggets, okay? She said, trust your vision. I think that's powerful, because a lot of times we do not jump into the entrepreneurial space due to fear and due to comfortability. So I like what you said there, where you said, you know what, hey, I know that I can do this, and you invested in yourself. Now, just for disclaimer, we are not advertising Fiverr, but it is a good platform. But if you want to write either one of us a check to advertise it for you, we got you, right? But I love what you said about outsourcing the work. A lot of times we feel like we got to be the producer of the content, the editor of the content. We got to be the marketing team. We got to be our own hype man and business coach. But I love what you said about investing in yourself, but then also investing in others and trusting the fact that other people can see your vision in order to make it come true.
Correct.
Look, I absolutely love that. And I love the fact that you're telling people, go for it. Why not? It's like at the end of the day, you either go sink or swim, right?
Correct.
So I love the fact that you have turned your books into an academy called the Queen's Gambit Academy.
Yes.
I absolutely love that because you turned it into a workshop series to go along with the book. Why is that so important?
Because I believe that knowledge is the cure for ignorance. And I also believe that ignorance is the root and stem of every evil on the planet.
Yeah.
And I believe that women have the power to transform this entire world through their knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and their fortitude. And I believe if women have been given the tools and the option to flourish, to become their whole selves, that we can help the children, we can help the planet, we can help the community, because I truly believe that it all lies in the hands of women. But I believe that relationships severely impact and impede women's development.
Okay.
And if they would understand two key elements, love and men, if they understood these factually, number one, they would stop seeking outside of themselves for men to give them something that actually men cannot give them.
Wow. Powerful.
They would then begin to build self and start to fuel this energy from within. And as they fuel this energy from within, they express without.
Yeah.
And then more people would actually see, know, and feel love through the woman's expression, as opposed to her seeking for something that she'll never find outside of herself. And if she understood this, she would understand her impact on men and how her elevation can actually inspire men to do better.
Wow.
And be better. Because men are literally a reflection of women. This is something that women do not understand. And the reason they do not understand this is because they do not understand men. So my job is to break down the psychological, spiritual, and neurological aspects of men.
Wow.
Because the more you understand about them, the more you can understand about self as a woman.
Wow. Now, do you think that by having more knowledge of self and navigating the spaces of love and men, that this will help women in the corporate field, entrepreneur space? Like, how do you feel that all entangles together?
It changes everything.
Yeah.
I have a woman that is a loyal supporter of mine, and under my tutelage, she went from very skittish to dominant in her field over men, because I was able to teach her how men function in male-dominated spaces, and based on what I've taught her, it has allowed her to have more power and control in self and in her position over the men. Now she doesn't have any problems leading and directing men.
Nice.
And you can only do that with understanding male psychology. Wow. Too many women do not understand male psychology, right? And men are not going to be forthright with that, because that's a power for them to maintain.
Wow.
But when they keep this gray area and this door closed, it actually creates too many problems that we all have to try to clean up.
Okay.
Right? Because through women's self-discipline comes a reduction of birth and children that nobody cares about.
Understood.
When women are focused on self and community, we have more women who actually care about their behavior and their impact and how it affects the children in the community, how it affects other people in the community.
Yeah.
Right? Because Houston, Texas is a #1 hub for sex trafficking.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
If we had more people who actually cared about themselves, who loved themselves, because once you love self, you're able to understand other people's suffering, and you don't intentionally bring children into a world where you know that they're going to suffer, and you don't have the energy to disperse amongst a large group of children when it's only coming from yourself.
Understood.
So for every child that you have, the lower your energy levels go, and the less energy that you can give to each child. And once you have that, somebody's going to get left out. And so this is a part of why teens run away. And when teens run away, they're left vulnerable for predators to catch.
Understood.
If we heal that within women, that problem goes away. Because a lot of these children are born out of women seeking love and validation.
Okay.
A lot of these children are born out of self-deprecation. When we heal that in the woman, we heal the future of another soul.
Yeah.
Right? So this is critical for women to get, because it'll transform the entire world.
I understand that. Look, that's powerful, and thank you for having that strength to even put that out there, because a lot of times when we see self-help, it was very rare that we see women in the self-help industry that are putting it out there in the same spaces in which you are. So thank you for being a woman that's doing that and bringing light to subjects really that people don't really want to talk about. Right. They don't want to talk about the dynamic between men and women, and you do it in such a way where it is something it's energetic, and it's something where you're like, okay, I'm intrigued.
Yes.
Let me find out more.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the thing. We definitely want people to find out more. Look, her book, The Game, 41 Shades of Men. Look, it is out now. You definitely got to get it. But you also have an event coming up.
Yes, I do.
So right here in Houston, Texas, she has an event coming up called On the Throne. Tell us about On the Throne.
Yes, On Your Throne is designed for women who have really decided to take their lives into their own hands and not seek outside validation. So they're here to celebrate themselves and to pour into themselves. And since this is on Valentine's Day, #1, this is the 3rd anniversary of the High Power Podcast.
Yes.
And because I started it on February 14th, 2022, because I always had the mission for women to love themselves, to seek within. So as the 3rd anniversary, now I'm doing a 1st-year anniversary of the On Your Throne event, where women can actually come to physically do this as opposed to just psychologically. And so this is going to be a full-day event, and that is split into 2 halves. And the first half is the day where they get to learn about love. Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded is the workshop that they'll be able to attend in the first half.
Yeah.
Then the second half is when we have our evening ball, where we'll have live entertainment, poetry artists, saxophonists, we'll have catered cuisine, networking opportunities, and I'm going to do a special keynote. So this is a day that women can really thrive and network with other like-minded women.
I absolutely love it.
Yes.
I absolutely love it. And podcaster to podcaster, your podcast is great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything that you put into it. I want you to use this camera right here. I want you to tell people where they can find you, connect with you, get the book. Guys, get the book. Listen, you got to tap into that podcast as well.
Yes.
Let us know where we can do that.
Okay. All right. So #1, if you would like the book, 41 Shades of Men, The Pursuit to Subdue and Use You, you can get that on Amazon and Audible. It is labeled 5 stars by all of the listeners and readers. So I definitely encourage you to go and get that. Also, if you would like to follow me, you can go to Instagram, IG, and you'll find me at The Queen Maker Official. I'm also The Queen Maker Official on TikTok. And if you want to watch my podcast, you can go to youtube.com/@thequeenmaker, and I'm there.
Listen, thank you so much for being a guest of the Business Knowledge Broker. Look, I appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for having that insight to put your words and your strength on paper, and also help to facilitate those conversations between men and women and men. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And one more thing. If you want those tickets to Own Your Throne, please visit PrincellaClark.com and click the events tab and get your tickets there. Thank you so much.
We definitely want you to tune in. We definitely want you to tap in. Look, get the book. Dive into that podcast. Look, come to the event. Listen, it's for you. All I have to say is this. We're going to close out the Business Hours Broker Hour by saying this. Be you, be great, and show your greatness at all times.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look, with a live audience.
Yes.